Hello and welcome to the Stick or Bomb podcast, the show where we select a handful of games each week and play those games over the course of a few weeks, where we come back at the end and tell you guys which games have stuck with us and which games have bombed and fail to please our selective palates. With me, I have Chris and Val, as always. My name is Tim, Ted Boggins online, and I look forward to having a good show here today. You guys, let's just jump right into it, and
Yeah, let's do it.
let's talk a little bit about Dokapon Kingdom Connect. Um, I'm gonna stay silent here as we start because I have lots to say about Dokapon, but I want to hear your thoughts first. So, what do y'all think of Dokapon Kingdom?
So it's a real frustration simulator. It's a lot of fun, but boy, is it a frustrating, very frustrating experience. That's where I'll start. Val, why don't you go
It's
ahead?
only frustrating if you're bad.
Well, or if the game's RNG is just absolutely tanking your experience, as was the case for my sessions, where I
Yeah,
rolled
you had it
terrible.
particularly rough this go around. That was you had some nonsense dice rolls, some nonsense just RNG in general. Which, I mean,
Yeah, I feel like
Dokapon
us newbies had it pretty easy.
Dokapon is like a dick game to begin with, and you were just getting the worst of the worst.
That's all right. I mean, I expected it. I know what to expect from that game. We've played it, over time here.
Yeah, of course. And so in the background, I have the Dokapon intro running, so you guys can get an idea of the sort of strangeness that this game has to offer. It was made. It's an Atlas game. They remade it here in 2023. It originally came out on the Wii, and I mean, what do you guys think of it as a video game? How do you like it? Did it serve you well? Um, I guess that's my first question to the both of you.
Val, do you want to go, or do you want me to go?
Sure, I'm the newbie to it. I thought it was great. It's a party game with a little bit more than a standard party game has to offer. I mean, it's more PvP Mario. Rock paper scissors is always a great way to settle arguments, and this game does it well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I fully agree. That's my take as well. It's one of those games where friendships are are tested. Uh, you can really go after your buddies. You can cooperate with your buddies. Um, it is an excellent party game. Be aware, though, listeners, it is a time-consuming party game.
yeah. I mean, it expects you to have multiple play sessions over the course of hours and hours. It is a JRPG board game essentially, but the entire JRPG mechanic is based off of rock paper scissors. It is the best rock paper scissors simulator I've ever come across. Not that I seek those out very often, but it is a hell of a rock paper scissors game. You start out, you can have multiple classes. We didn't get to see a lot of the different classes because, again, it takes a long time to make a ton of progress with it. And so, what classes did you guys start as uh, with our play here?
So I started out as warrior, as I either go with a warrior or a thief build depending on my JRPG games. Warrior seemed like a lot of fun. Um, Val, I believe you went a different way, right?
No, I started as warrior as well. It was one
Oh,
of
is it?
those. It was the basic first pick. Let's see how it goes. I didn't. I wasn't aware beforehand that you could change classes, but I'm glad that was an option. I did end up switching my class to, I believe, priest. Um, but either way, like warrior itself was fun. It's cool that you can play any of the classes basically, and you can upgrade to or downgrade to those classes if you just want to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, maxing out a class is how you unlock other classes, and then combinations of maxed out classes unlock further new classes.
Yeah, it gets pretty deep with the class progression. As somebody who's played through the whole game, there are secret classes. There are classes that you unlock from running through the mastery levels on the base classes. The starting classes are thief, mage, and warrior. And once you master one of those classes, you unlock the cleric class, and you can keep mastering other classes. You can change from a mage to a thief, which is what I did, just to get myself some more speed down the line. And the class progression system is pretty neat. You're always leveling up, and levels carry over as well. You can lose stat points, you can gain stat points throughout the game through ways other than leveling up as well, which is kind of interesting. It can be frustrating at times, for sure. Um, and
Yeah, so tell them about the field, like how that all plays out. I think that's goes in line with like the gaining skills, losing skills kind of
yes,
aspect of it.
so the entirety of the game, like, is it's basically Monopoly. Like, you want to have the most money at the end of Dokapon. In fact, there is a screen at the end of every week that is going to show you how much money any given person has, what their net worth is, because as you go through the game, there is a sort of monopoly mechanic as well, where you are obtaining towns, upgrading those towns to get more money. You get resources from the towns, and those towns have their own individual spaces on the game board. On top of the town spaces, you have just regular blank spaces called field spaces where you can land, and you will usually fight a monster when you land on one of those spaces. If you land on the same one as another player, you'll fight the player. If you there is a chance when you land on a field space that an event will occur, which is usually some way for the game to throw a wrench into somebody's plans, or maybe they get something nice out of it. You never know with Dokapon. It is a game of absolute chaos at its core. Uh, I think is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah. I mean, it's apt, very apt. Things go from being in the lead to being in last. Blink of an eye, anything can
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, it goes quick, and so like there, as we go through as this sort of trailer opening sequence of the game goes through, you can see some of the enemies, some of the different NPCs that are in the game. You get an idea of the sort of board game setup that it has as it goes through this, and there there are interesting mechanics, like if you PvP with one another, if you fight another player, you can steal their shit. You can take towns from them. You can take their money. You can take their equipment. Or you could be a little mischievous. You can play a prank on them by like drawing on their face or changing the way their hair looks, changing their name. Unfortunately, it doesn't let you manually change the name. It just like has pre-generated names that it gives. But there are definitely ways to antagonize your other players in game, which happens a lot, especially if you're playing with the computer. The computer is ruthless in Dokapon.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's I think we had a PvP experience right off the bat. I think didn't you and Val kind of
Oh
Yep.
yeah, Val landed
scrapped.
We tussled early.
yeah, yeah. I got killed in the very beginning, and it set me back a little ways. And I am still in last place. I've been last place for a very long time, which is, um, that's what happens when you start late and can't get any towns because everybody else has scooped them up. Um,
Oh, well, yeah, that opening area you got. So in this game, you know before you get into Dokapon Kingdom proper, where the game actually exists, where you're really going to be spending all your time, there's a tutorial area starting off, a small map, and the goal of that is to get to the kingdom, right? So whoever gets there first gets a reward, then the second person gets a smaller one, third person even smaller, and the fourth person gets essentially nothing. And if you wait too long, you just automatically get pulled forward and you earn again nothing. So sadly for for Tim, he was last man out, and he started behind.
yeah, which that's okay. I'm a Dokapon veteran. I don't mind starting in the
Yeah, got
red.
a handicap, right?
Yeah. Um, so the yeah, I mean it is a stellar game in my opinion. It's very simple in what it does, but like the amount of RPG content that they lay onto this rock paper scissors template makes it uh, just a smash up multiplayer game, which I've come to like maybe even more than Mario Party. It's hard to compare it to Mario Party because they're so different. Like the only similarity there is the board game aspect. You're not doing mini games. You're doing these little RPG battles throughout it. So it's definitely got some similarities, but mostly differences. I would say.
Hmm.
I think the only negative I could say is that it's not casual. Like it's not something you'd have your buddies over on in an evening and play for a couple hours. Like you really need to invest the time in it, unless you're going to do it multiple times. But to
Yeah,
try to just be like it, Mario Party, you could just throw on like a 30 turn game or whatever. It takes a couple hours, it's done. This is like a multi-day or like a spend the whole day playing because we've got nothing else to do on a Saturday type game.
yeah. You have to have a crew that is committed to torturing themselves through Dokapon. Really, at the end of the day, is how it goes. But I mean, like there are going along with the RPG mechanics. There's a weapon shop. There's an armor shop. Like you're upgrading weapons and armor to make yourself better. You're upgrading your levels. Like there are mechanics outside of the rock paper scissors that makes it not just rock paper scissors. Like it's I don't want to simplify it that much. But every conflict is determined by a bout of rock paper scissors at the end of the day.
Yeah. Back to what Val had just mentioned about the time the time investment. Um, with the release on PC, that has made it much more palatable to play this game because you can play it online. There's, you can set up a night and just get people together and you play online, you're good to go. Whereas before, even with the Switch version, you really kind of had to be there, right? You had to be
The Switch
together
version
physically.
does have the online. That is still Dokapon Kingdom Connect. You can only play with other Switch players.
Okay, so
But the original
that's
version on the Wii did not have that. You had to
sure.
literally have local people to play with.
Yeah, which I think is a big ask for
Yeah.
this level of a game. Like again, Mario Party, yeah, you can spend 2 hours, you play through an entire session, and you go about your separate ways. Somebody won. Um, this game we've played two lengthy
31 hours.
31 hours, two sessions. Like Jesus, really 31 hours over two sessions? Good lord.
I mean, I got 31 hours and I've only
Yeah.
played it with you guys.
Boy, oh
So.
I
boy.
mean,
All right.
that can't be 31. That can't be right. There's no way.
I don't know. We
maybe
that
somebody
first
left it
session.
on. Maybe somebody left it on in the background
Okay.
or something. You know.
Hold on. Let me. Do I have a playtime here? Because if I mean, I believe it. Don't get me wrong. I believe it. Let me just double check. Okay. No. Playtime for me 8.1 hours, and I've
That
only played it with you guys.
yeah.
So
I'm guessing you left it on the background somewhere, Val.
I must have.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
So
about 10 hours sounds about right.
listeners, 8.1 hours. We played 2 sessions.
Yeah, 2
And
like
we
4-hour sessions. That sounds correct.
Yeah, and we are, I don't know, 20 to 30% through like the areas. There's a very large map.
I'd say we are in between there for sure. I think probably 20% because it gets a little chuggy
We
toward
were at
the
the end
end.
of the second area, right?
Chapter
Or
2.
did we
Yeah,
just open the third?
We are nearing the end of the third area, I believe.
Okay. So
Yeah.
be prepared for a time investment. Be prepared to try if you're going to play this with people you like and you care about. Know that it could strain your relationship with them somewhat, but it's gonna you're gonna need some time set up. Like make this a think of it like a D&D session. You're gonna put some time in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just no going into it, and I would tell anybody you're playing with up front, like, if you want to win, if you want to have all the money, you're gonna have to be a dick, just like any other board game that's a competitive board game, right? Like, you're against one another. It could cause some conflict. I embrace the chaos at all times. I'm here for it. I like whoever wins at the end of the day. I don't care. But it could grind some gears on some people. You know, it's definitely a game that is not for somebody who is really gonna get angry about you stealing their stuff, so to speak, because it can definitely happen.
If you're a Monopoly table flipper, maybe skip this
Yeah,
one.
maybe skip it for sure.
Yeah. Or just really lean into it.
Yeah. Luckily, there's no table flip. Don't flip the console though. That would not go well. I would say.
That's only on them.
Yeah,
That's
I guess.
that's your console. Sorry to hear it.
Yeah.
Or your PC, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing on Switch, it's easier to flip the Switch than the PC, probably, unless you have a laptop. Which Dokapon could definitely run on. It is a super tiny game, also. That it's like, I don't even think it's 3 gigs. Like it's minuscule as far as size is concerned.
Yeah, it's definitely not resource intense either.
Yeah, I was playing Civ while we were playing Dokapon.
Yeah,
because you have to wait for other people's turns. You need something to fill that time.
Yeah, it's a great,
not even a gig.
It's a great game to just like
megabytes.
listen to music and hang out with your buddies and just like sort of rib on one another, you know. So, do you guys have anything else that you want to say about Dokapon Kingdom before we say whether it is a stick or a bomb? As far as the game is concerned,
I will say that if you're willing to give a chance to something unique, this might be the game for you. It has a lot of charm. It has, an interesting art style. One thing I will say is if you do play it, be aware the default volume is staggering. It is going to shock you how loud it is. Be prepared for that. You have to turn that down in the options.
Yeah, you're gonna have to also, like, even at 1 on the volume meter, it's still loud as hell. Like, I have it set to 1 volume in game, and I think 8% volume on volume mixer in Windows. So it's like, and even then, it's still like very audible. It is one of the loudest games I've ever played in my life. And I mean, they want you to hear their awesome soundtrack. It does have a decent soundtrack. It gets annoying after a while. Like, again, you have to think you're playing this game for upwards of at least probably 30 to 50 hours if you're going to go through the whole thing. And it's going to have some similar songs, so you might get bored with them. I would usually turn it down as much as I can and then just put some music on in the background. I still want to hear all the voices because the voice acting is incredible in this game. It's so cheesy and so funny. I really can't recommend listening to it enough. That's the last thing that I would have to say about it as far as volume is concerned.
There you go.
Val, any final thoughts?
No, I think it was very fun. I think the price point may
Price point's a little steep for
push
what it
people.
is. Like
Yeah,
I think nowadays this game should be like a $30 game, and they're selling
and
it
at
at
$30, I would say buy it all day.
Yeah.
If you can get it on sale, like I believe we got it on sale when we picked
did.
it up.
Yeah.
If you can find it on sale, 100% worth it. At 65 Canadian right now, full price. I don't know if I could justify paying that for it. But yeah, if you can get a good deal, get it in a humble bundle or something, absolutely worth picking up.
So I'll throw this out there for those listening. Green Man Gaming and Fanatical.com have it for $15 to $17.50.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored by Green
Not
Man
not
Gaming,
sponsored.
but-
Hey, but no, I'm here. I'm here for people picking up Dokapon Kingdom. So this is not about sponsoring those sites. Not an endorsement of those sites. It's just hard fact that it's on sale at those prices.
And at that price, all day.
Yeah, full recommendation.
Yeah, I bought it at full price because I want them to make more Dokapons, but I agree that it's not. I don't think for it being a remake of a game, I don't think it deserves a $50 or $60 price point, whatever they have it at.
Yeah.
That being said, this game's a stick for me all day. I've touted Dokapon for many years, and so I knew going into this it was a stick for me. How about you, Chris?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I enjoy it. As frustrating or as just like annoying as some of it can be, it is ultimately a very fun game. Great time with your buddies. Just wholehearted recommendation.
All right, there you have it. Stick from Chris. Stick from me. Val, I think I heard you say yes to stick.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a stick. Like I said, price point's a little bit of pushback, but if you can get it on sale, absolutely play this game.
All right, Dokapon Kingdom. That's it. Idea Factory, Atlas, Compile Heart, doing the real work there on localizing 10-year-old JRPGs and making them available on the internet. Good on them, is what I say. We want to talk about what else we played this week, and last week and the week before, because Monster Hunter Wilds came out, and that's been taking up a majority of our time, at least my time.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna find many people on Steam right now who aren't enjoying Monster Hunter. It has captured the attention, like my attention for sure. I know you all have been playing it about as much as I have.
It's about time. That's what I have to say there. It's about time Monster Hunter got its due, because it's been an incredible franchise since it came out on PS2, and just took until 2025 for people to recognize it in the mainstream. I guess Worlds was a little bit more mainstream, but not like Wilds. The top 10 best-selling Steam game of all time. Ridiculous.
Yeah, in such a short span too.
Yeah.
Like it just rocketed really to the top.
Yeah, that day one, it was already there. It's crazy. But let's talk about. So this is not anybody here's first Monster Hunter. Everybody at least played Rise here. Did you guys play any other Monster Hunter games ahead of this and Rise?
Yes, I've dabbled in the series over the years. I had the PSP one. Can't remember which one that
It was
was.
probably Freedom or Freedom Unite or Freedom
I think
I
Unite
it's I,
Two.
I think
It was
Freedom
it
was the
was
one
it
that I
was
played.
Freedom. Yeah, that's what I started with. It didn't really latch on to me back then. Then I came back when World came out, and then I played Rise and Sunbreak, and now I'm here in the wilds.
Right. And I would say this game has taken a turn from the traditional look and feel of Monster Hunter. It's definitely a Monster Hunter game. I wouldn't say it's not, but it feels considerably different than the other games in the series, especially like your classic Monster Hunter games like Freedom or Freedom Unite or even Rise had the feel of those classic Monster Hunters. This is taking another step up from where they were with World and just really going for very like sort of cinematic and story driven Monster Hunter, which has never really been their forte or what they leaned into in the past. So it's interesting to see. What did you guys think of the story? Because we've all gone through the game. You may hear some mild spoilers here, but I think we'll probably keep those to a minimum. Um, what did you guys think of the actual like through line on the story for this?
Val, do you want to go first, or you want me?
Yeah, the story was fine. I think there was a lot of dialogue that didn't need to be dialogue. There was a lot of cutscenes that didn't need to be cutscenes, but the story itself was what I expected of a Monster Hunter. I don't think there was anything that really like jumped out at me.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. I mean, this is very much a Capcom game where they have some real like hammy dialogue, some really heavy-handed statements. Um, but boy, there are a couple characters, two specific characters. I won't name names, but two characters I just did not like.
Yeah, I
Choices, their dialogue, just top to bottom, I was just not a fan. Um, by and large, though, the story was very good. I enjoyed it.
I agree. I well, the story I thought was fine. I wasn't there for the story. I was there to hunt monsters, so I my eyes glazed over a lot because it was just like so much story that they were trying to push at you, and I just wanted to hunt, man. I was a little disappointed by how much they leaned into it, but luckily they give you the option to skip a lot of that stuff. Um, I felt the same way about those two characters that I will not mention. Uh, However, there were a lot of other characters that they introduced that I thought were really good. Love the blacksmith,
Mm-hmm.
love the quest lady, Alma,
Mm-hmm.
and
Gemma.
Gemma, the blacksmith. I like both of them. Um, they are they usually don't like it's usually just like the quest helper or the handler, and so now they're like giving them names and stuff, so they're getting a little bit more into uh, making things more personable, I guess, to the player, which is fine. I don't need it, but I get why they put it in there. Um,
Hmm.
the
As oh, good.
sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as the person on this podcast, I think I am the only person really, generally who enjoys. I seek out story in game. I followed through all the cutscenes. I listened to all the dialogue. Um, and what they were going for, I got. and I liked it. Those characters, Alma and Gemma, well written. Really enjoyed their voice acting. The melodrama got a little high a couple times, but it's a Capcom game. I expect that.
So I think my problem with this with story in Monster Hunter, right, is that like the bad guy's always gonna be the monsters. Like you're never gonna just kill a dude because he's the bad guy. He's orchestrating all the monster stuff. They're just these are wild beasts, and you gotta hunt them because they're messing things up in this environment. And so go kill them, Monster Hunter. And so that's what happens. But I don't think it needs a story for that reason, right? Like there's no really traditional storyline that you can tell with every Monster Hunter game story is the same. It's like fight the bigger monster. Oh, he caused this other monster to come running over here. You have to kill that one now. And that it's just they took a very long-winded way of doing that same thing here.
Well, I think they were trying to introduce sympathy for these monsters.
For the monsters, I mean, they're giant, like devastating monsters.
Monsters.
Yeah.
They're monsters.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. They're destroying towns. They're killing livestock. They're monsters. They're killers. But there was definitely some like sympathy for the devil going on here in a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. They especially lean that into that toward like the end of it, and I was just like, I mean, these monsters are gonna eat people and mess up their towns, man. You got to take care of them. What are you gonna do? It's just the way of the hunt. Gameplay wise, I like the gameplay. I think I don't like some of the ways that they have decided to. I don't want to say dumb down Monster Hunter because it's not that. It's just they made it easier than it has to be in a lot of ways that I don't necessarily appreciate. Specifically the bird thing, the sacred that you ride around on. It can basically get you out of most trouble. Like it is hard to faint in this Monster Hunter, and resource allocation. Like you can always just go back to your camp and pick things up, and now you have full potions again. And in past titles, I know it wasn't a thing with Rise. I don't remember if it was a thing with Worlds, but older titles in the series always made resources a finite thing. Like you only were able to bring 10 mega potions with you. You could bring 10 honey to turn your other potions into mega potions, and giving you a total of 20 mega potions. And when you run out, you have to really you're gonna have to run back to camp and sleep and really scrimp and struggle for every last bit of health that you have if you're in a fight with something really deadly. And I think that aspect of the game is gone completely, which I don't like. I don't know.
You had lodged that complaint while we were playing, and I recognized it right away too. If you are good at timing the call of the sacred, you get knocked down by a large monster, and you are going to get killed if you are laying on the ground. If you call it right at the right time, it will scoop you up, take you out of harm's way, and get you. You can heal, you can sharpen your weapon, you can do a lot of stuff while you're on the back of your mount. That absolutely makes the game much easier. I would have liked to see something along the line, like somewhere in the middle, where there's so many resources scattered all over the map, right? You have your herbs, you have your honeys, they're everywhere. You have to go around and collect and craft. That would be okay in like a balanced kind of situation. But you're right. The ability to race off to a pop-up camp mid hunt and get a full complement of your items back, that is kind of the unbalancing.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the game that I don't enjoy. I think it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a fine entry to the Monster Hunter series. Definitely not my favorite entry at this point. But I do have confidence that Capcom will listen to the fans of the series and make changes for the better in regards to that sort of thing. Just like they did with Rise. I know people hated the Rampage stuff in Rise, and when Sunbreak came out, the expansion to Rise, that stuff was gone, and you didn't have to do any of it. So I'm hoping that they do a similar thing with the expansion, where they take that player input into consideration and really make this game shine, because it's gorgeous and the weapons look gorgeous, and they really spent a lot of time and energy, it seems like, making the weapons look incredibly unique and more so than some of the past games. Val, any thoughts on your end from Monster Hunter?
Yeah,
I know you're not like a huge, you were never a huge Monster Hunter guy, right?
No, I mean I enjoyed when we played Rise, Sunbreak. I very much enjoyed it. I think I've enjoyed it so much though because they've watered it down so much.
So you like it for the opposite reason that I don't like.
I think no, I mean I think I like it because it's more accessible to me as somebody that's not like a huge, like I'm not huge into fighting games, and ultimately Monster Hunter is a fighting game against a giant monster, like with the combos and everything. It's like it's all combo based fighting. Um,
I can see
but
that argument. I would call it an action game, but
yeah,
I could see you calling it a fighter.
yeah. I mean, there's a reason I like Bonkin.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but no, I mean, as much as people are going to complain about it being easy, which even I find it a little bit easy. Obviously there's one or two, monsters that are actually some difficult, but are they really difficult, or do they just randomly one shot you for no reason? Or is it
Yeah.
because the vision isn't great, the map, placement where they are on the maps and stuff isn't fantastic for some guys, which it happens. But I think that's why it's got so much appeal, is because they've tried to make it more accessible to those that just want to kill giant monsters and don't want to, cart twice on every fight.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean it's the karting aspect of it is like the only reason in this game that you do get carded is if you get one shot, really. Like
Oh,
it
absolutely.
has to be some like perfect storm of combo attacks for you to go down from multiple hits with the sacred
Or you're
and the
not paying
health
attention
and the
to like
cat bringing
the
you health the entire time. Like there are
yeah.
so many things that they added that just make it impossible to die.
Or just not paying attention, like the what is it, the one guy's giant ice thing where you gotta hide behind the crystals. Like you
Yeah,
not recognizing that's coming, like that's on you. But yeah, it seems like most deaths are, oh, he decided to combo you, and there's nothing you can do because you got comboed, or like random one shot because he's enraged.
you
right.
know, it's actually kind of funny. Um, I found that the game was easier, and even no matter what the monster was, I soloed many of these. It was solo that was the easier way to do this. And because I say that because uh, you know, um, threat or enrage or whatever of one player, it bounces around, right? So we're fighting this monster and it's mad at me, then it's mad at Tim, then it's mad at Val, and it's like bouncing everywhere, right? So it's hard to stay on top of it. It's unpredictable where his attack's going to hit. But when I did the end game monsters, the last three specifically, which were supposed to be like the hardest of the hard, I had no problem soloing them, like zero problems. I didn't. I only got hit a couple times.
Yeah,
It's
so I think
go
part
ahead.
of that is Monster Health solo is scaled down slightly.
It felt that way. Yeah.
It definitely
And you got a
is.
kitty cat that fucks shit up.
And yeah,
Well,
the
yeah.
cat is like the cat needs to
OP.
get nerfed, dude. Yeah, it is too good. Every other
Anything
second, it's
above a
bringing like
duo?
a glob of health to stick on you, or a glob of status removal. Speaking of which, I think they need to buff status ailments because I can't recall getting stunned more than like twice in this game. It
And
seems
maybe
crazy.
nerf the paralyzed weapons.
Yeah, paralyzed weapons absolutely need a tweak. They are. If you were a solo and using paralyzed weapons, it's a guaranteed win because you paralyze, especially the higher level paralyzed weapons. You paralyze them so often that they might as well not even be in the fight.
Yeah, yeah, status ailment stuff. And oddly enough, they don't have, at least not that I saw, they don't have a status ailment skill other than the critical affliction, I think it's called, something like that. And
Critical element, I
the
believe.
well, critical elements only for elemental.
Oh, yes.
There's a separate one
Yeah.
for affliction. And then they have a feline specialist, which is a meal ability that adds affliction status ailments to
The Palico.
your, well, no, just you in general. Like it's a food buff.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a fine hunter. I don't think it's my favorite hunter, but I do really like it. It's
Fun.
a nice package that they've got. It looks great. Does hitch up every now and then if you're playing for a very long time. I've found. I know both of you have experienced some crashes. I haven't actually run into any crashes on my end, and we're all playing on PC for the listeners at home.
It's funny. The user experience has been vast and varied. You see people talking about extremely low frame rates on good hardware,
Mm-hmm.
crashes, pop-in, all that stuff. That was not my experience. I'm not running on top end hardware by any means. I have good hardware, but not top end. I didn't have much of a problem, except for the I think maybe 5 crashes I had, but those seem to be related to crossplay multiplayer more than anything else.
Yeah.
It just it's remarkable to me how varied the experience has been for so many players. I hope Capcom does something to kind of stabilize that across the board.
I think the biggest complaint for everyone that we've spoken with and played with has been the multiplayer experience. It
Hmm.
is so inaccessible, and then the fact that you have the same I know we were talking about it when we were playing, but the menu window is like everybody brought their own piece to what they want to see in the menus, but they didn't trim any of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's
was
like they had
nobody
five dudes in the room. We're like, each one of us has a solution to multiplayer. They're like, great, we're gonna put them all in, and we're gonna name them something different, and they're all gonna work pretty much the same way. They're just gonna be named differently.
nobody
Yeah,
data remove duplicates in their Excel file when they're building it.
Yeah,
it's
that
the
was
UI.
that was a barrier, especially at the very beginning of the game when we didn't know anything about it, and we're like, "What is this? Why do I need the squad and the link environment and the just regular invite? Like there are like 40 ways to invite a person to a game, and it turns out the I think the link party is probably the easiest way to do it. I think you add everybody to a squad so that you have all your people in one menu that you can go look at all
In
their
one
names and
lobby.
see who's online, and then add the link party from there and get your crew together and slay some monsters. Yeah,
Yeah.
the multiplayer is cryptic in a way that it did not have to be. They had solved it in past games. I don't know why they decided they
And
needed like 40 different menus for it.
I'd go a step further and say the UI in general, the menu system is it's inscrutable. There are 6 or 7 tabs on the menu. Some of them have duplicate entries for whatever weird reason.
How many
Um,
screens can you get
So
to the
so I
invitation list
realized
from?
I realized why that was like a couple days ago. One of the tabs is recent menu options or something like that, and it's just a repeat of other tabs that you've gone into recently.
well,
It
that's my fault for not knowing that, I suppose. I guess
it's
I'm the asshole here.
no. I think they're still the assholes for making that a thing. Like, just take that out. Why
Yeah.
is that even an
Or
option?
make it a quick access tab that you pin specific
Yeah,
things you want to.
Yes.
that's
Yes.
it's
Let me create my own menu entry, and that's fine. Don't just populate it with things and then have it update and change. And because there were times where I was looking for a specific thing that I had seen before, and then it suddenly wasn't in that tab anymore, and I didn't understand
yeah.
why,
The,
and that was frustrating.
Yeah, when you're in a quest, the menu options in certain tabs also change, which is
Yeah.
bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made some strange choices when it comes to UI and multiplayer for sure. But I think all around, the only other thing I would say is a detriment to it is the multiple hub areas. Like, I wish there was just one hub area that you can go on, go and get your food there. Let having to travel to a different town and look at another load screen to go get food
Mhm.
is frustrating as hell. I just want one
So,
place I can do the food, and I'm done.
good news. We're getting that.
Good. Yeah,
We're
we
getting
should
that.
get that.
That's yeah, a hub area with all the food options and all of that is coming with the first title update, if they are to be believed, which is early April, by all accounts.
Yeah.
Um, I will welcome that if it functions like it did in previous Monster Hunters, where it's a single hub. I can just go there and not have to travel around.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let me just launch missions from there, and I'll be a happy camper.
This is the first Monster Hunter I could think of that doesn't just have a gathering hub that you go to for all the multiplayer stuff. Like, it's crazy.
It does make sense because of what they're doing. It
Yeah.
does. Because there are the multiple regions. There's monsters
Yeah.
wandering those regions at all times. You can just go out there and kill them.
Just
So I get it.
just make
But
it like a blimp. You have the Monster Hunter blimp. There you go.
yep,
Hub
deploy from above.
completed. You could add airdrops, fucking battle royale style, if you want. Like, that'd be
We already
fun.
have an airship. We already have an airship.
Yeah.
The airships are in the game. It's a thing. They exist.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
anyway, listeners, don't take these complaints as anything other than just nitpicking. It's a fantastic game. We've all put many, 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 many hours in, and will continue to do so because it is enjoyable and a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I just have to complain about Monster Hunter because I love it so much.
Hmm.
So don't take any of my complaints seriously. These are just exactly that, nitpicks. I do think it's a great game. I think it's a fine entry in the Hunter series. Uh, what did you guys end up at playtime? I'm sitting at 80 hours on Wilds at the moment.
I know.
Would that take into account your handheld playtime as well?
It does, yeah. This is all on Steam, so it should be the same for everything.
42.
42.
Okay, 42. Yeah.
I can tell you in one moment when I pull up my page. 68.1.
68.1. All right.
Now,
So
here's the question, Tim. Did you make it to Monster Hunter to Hunter rank 100?
I think I'm like right there. I'm at like 90 something.
I I have reached 100, and that was
Yeah.
where I felt was a good stopping point until the first title update for me.
I
I will still
will.
play here and there,
I'll
but
continue to play just to like fill out my armor and weapons and stuff. But once I get 100, I will probably slow down a little bit. There's just nothing else to play at the moment, I would say,
Oh,
until
I disagree, but we can save that conversation for a moment from now.
yeah, something happens on the there's a game that comes out on the 14th I'm thinking of that seems good. I can't even think of the name of it, but I I want to say the 14th. That's this week, right? Oh
It
no,
is.
it's I know exactly what it is. It's the Stardew Valley
Yes.
update for Stardew Valley mods, which I'm very excited about. But what do we want to talk about? Anything else games wise, or are we gonna jump into some picks for the actual upcoming weeks for us to play?
Well, I'll continue beating the drum of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I've rolled credits on it. It might be my game of the year so far. Actually, it is my game of the year so far.
Crazy.
Uh, so goddamn good. Incredible top to bottom, start to finish. Loved every minute of it. Wish there was more content. Can't wait for DLC.
Good for you, man. I'm happy for you that you like that game. I
I would agree with with your sentiment there, Tim.
Y'all are missing out. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's okay. That's okay.
All right, let's start with some picks for the week here, or for the upcoming weeks. We're going to change our formula up a little bit. We're actually going to pick 3 games and play all 3 games rather than just picking one. Whether we each play them or we play them together, we're gonna run through all 3 and have some opinions on all 3 of them the next time we do our stick or bomb deliberations. So, with that being said, Val, you want to start us off with a pick of yours?
Yikes. So, I mean, I don't know if we want to do it this way, but I think we should definitely look at doing Stardew. Now, I won't put that one forward because I feel like that'd be consensus anyway, and we'd end up playing it the entire 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm
But
gonna end up playing Stardew no matter what. Is
Oh,
at the end
exactly.
of
With
the day.
that, I mean,
Um,
I'm sure you and I will end up doing another full game
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Chris,
all
you're
3 of
welcome
us.
to
I'll be
join
playing.
us. It
I'll be
was
playing.
the last game we did was great. I do think we should give Rogue Trader a go. It's on Game Pass. It looked real fun. I know we kind of half skipped it this last couple weeks, but I think we should give Rogue Trader a go for sure.
I like that
Another
recommendation.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one.
Well,
If we wanted to do something like single player instead of something we're going to play together, is One Lonely Outpost, which is now on Game Pass. It looks like it just released a couple days ago. Single player farming sim, kind of 8-bitty. Looks like a fun little game. Like I said, it looks like it's little, but it looks pretty fun. I don't know if you guys want to check it out, but I do think Rogue Trader would be what I would absolutely suggest. I think we should give a Rogue Trader campaign a try.
All right. Yeah, I'm cool checking out some Rogue Trader at some point. That I think we all already have that downloaded as well, so it shouldn't be a big push to get to that. All right, Chris, what about you?
all right. I'm bringing a little indie game here that just released recently. It's called Keep Driving. Uh, this is a kind of it's like a modern take on the Oregon Trail kind of mechanics. This is a game about a young person. You can be man or woman in it, setting out on a drive across the country. So in the beginning of this game, you pick a car. You have X amount of dollars to start. You have gas to worry about. You have the quality of your vehicle and all that stuff. You need to worry about your energy levels so you don't like fall asleep at the wheel. And as you travel across the country, you're mapping it yourself. you can branch the paths. Random events happen on the roadways, and you pick up hitchhikers, and there's like all kinds of little things in between. The soundtrack whips ass. The soundtrack is super good. Absolutely vibing to it. It has like this like a pixelated kind of aesthetic to it. Just an absolute fun game to play. I'm only about 2 hours worth of playtime on it so far, but I'm gonna see this through a few playthroughs. It's very very good. Um, so we'll talk more about it after we after if you guys can see it, after I can play a little bit more. But this is the game I wanna recommend to folks. It's definitely like an interesting one, and if you like soundtracks and games, you're in for a treat.
For any of our Canadian listeners out there, cross country Canada. That's all I'm gonna say.
Across Canada. Okay.
What answer me this? What when you say soundtrack? What kind of music are we talking about? Or is this like chiptune? Is it?
No. It's like it's actual like fully voiced music. It's like
Okay.
it's all indie tracks. I haven't heard any of these tracks prior to this. It's like a rock road trip. It's not like hard
Sure.
rock or heavy rock or anything like that. Just like good rock vibe. But there's like some jazzy tunes in there. It's a little bit of a mix. And as you're going, you're actually unlocking more music as you're playing through the game. So that's like one of the other progression unlocks you can have.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a very chill game. I mean, you can kind of take your time with it. There's not a lot of pressure on the events happening in the game, as you just kind of like pay attention to them at your leisure. It's fun so far. I don't have a fully formed opinion on it yet, but I really like it, and I think people should give it a look at the least.
Nice.
It's called Keep Driving.
Keep driving.
But
All right.
I will install One Lonely Outpost. That looks dope, and I have Road
Right?
Trader ready to go. Yeah, so we have some good options there.
All right.
Tim, what about you?
Speaking, I have two that I'm sort of torn between. So maybe I'll let you guys pick which one. The two that I'd like to bring to the table here are the Plucky Squire, which I just picked up and has been a lovely little game so far. It's a Devolver digital joint. The other that I am considering is Rift of the Necrodancer, made by the people who brought you Crypt of the Necrodancer. This is more of like a falling notes sort of Guitar Hero style game, although with some twists to that because you don't actually have a guitar, you're using a controller. And in contrast, Plucky Squire is a little bit of everything. It's sort of a mishmash of a bunch of different game types in a very impressive sort of storybook art style. I'm continuingly blown away every time they add some new little twist to their interesting storybook mechanic for Plucky Squire. But I am, like I said, I'm torn between the two of them because they're both great games in their own right. They're both very fun to me. Which would you prefer? A little sort of throwback to Guitar Hero or a adventure mishmash of all different sort of game genres?
Well, you go ahead.
The Plucky Squire looks real fun. I'm just pulled up a trailer here, and you're right. It's kind of everything.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
little bit
neat.
of side scrollery. There's a little bit of Ratchet and Clanky. There's a little bit of old school Zelda. There's
Mm-hmm.
like there seems to be everything.
I was leaning that same way. Because I already owned the game on PlayStation. It was free, I think, when it launched, and I picked it up. Never got a chance to play it, but if we're getting a recommendation for it here, I think now's the time.
Yeah, I've only put about probably like 40 minutes to an hour into it, and I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. So that's I guess let's go with the Plucky Squire. Um, I'm already forgetting yours. Drive home or
Yep. Keep
keep
driving.
keep driving. And Rogue Trader, right? Those are the three that we're gonna play.
Yep.
So our next few episodes will be sort of let's play gameplay streams of these three games throughout the next couple weeks, and then we'll come back with our recommendations and thoughts on each of those games in our podcast format here. Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel, and we'll be
We
putting
are
those
on
up.
Spotify and other major, wherever you find your podcasts.
Yes, you got it. And so that's it. Signing off. You guys have, unless either of you guys have anything else you want to bring to the table here.
The only other thing I want to mention is Dawn Folk. Chris, you mentioned it last episode.
Yeah.
I played it
Oh,
for
yeah.
like I just played the demo, but it's fantastic. If you
Isn't
guys
it,
are looking
though?
for something cozy to hang out with, Dawn Folk is real fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my recommendation for the previous episode. I did play that for another few hours. I'm still enjoying it. It's my like Steam Deck hanging out in the couch game at this point. So yeah, good stuff.
You love to see it. All right. Dawn Folk, keep an eye out for that, folks, and keep an eye out for the next episode of Sticker Bomb, where we'll play one of these three games. We'll see you all next week. Until then, this is Ted Boggins, Val, and Chris signing off on the Sticker Bomb podcast.